All righty. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Rochelle Chapman. I am one of the counselors here at Hebron High School, and I want to thank everyone for taking time out of your evening to join us on our Rising 10th grade presentation. So during this time, we're going to be giving you some helpful information as your students prepare for registration for the following school year. I have a couple of counselors joining me as well. Mrs. Klingen, Mrs. Bradley, and Mrs. Lovett. They will be monitoring the chat this evening. So if you have any questions, feel free to type that into the chat and they'll be able to answer your questions. So we're going to go ahead and get started. One of the things that I wanted to point out as far as when it comes to picking classes, that as an incoming sophomore, students have the opportunity to take AP classes. We do offer dual credit classes here on campus, but our dual credit classes are only for our juniors and seniors. So dual credit is an option to consider starting in their junior year, but your rising sophomore has the opportunity to take AP classes. Some of the AP classes we do offer for our sophomores include AP World History. Some of our languages other than English are offered AP as well, with the completion of an Honors 3 class, Honors level course in a language other than English. When it comes to AP, we do get questions about the difference between AP and dual credit. And so AP classes are college level classes that students take here at Hebron High School. They are taught by Hebron High School teachers and are trained by the College Board. And students are able to earn college credit by taking an AP class with the completion of the AP exam. The AP exam, students need to score at least a 3 or higher. And those exam scores are accepted by universities nationwide. You just have to check the policy at each university as far as the score that is needed to receive college credit. AP classes are offered to any student here at Hebron. And then there is a cost associated with the AP exam. So again, as a rising sophomore, students have the opportunity to take AP classes. Dual credit is offered for our juniors and seniors, but we will be having more information about our dual credit classes, AP classes, honors, as well as CTE offerings later this week through WebEx. And I'll go over that information as well. Another thing that I want to point out is how classes are weighted. And so if you look at the transcript, which students and you all can see in Skyward, you will see GPA. And the way the GPA is calculated is based on the weight of the classes that the students take. And so classes are given a different weight based on the type of class that it is. So for example, a level 0 class is considered a modified class. A modified class would be a class that's taken during credit recovery, a class that's taken through the Louisville Learning Center, night school, or a class that is a student takes based on our committee decision. Those classes have a weight of a 1. Levels 1 classes are your general education classes. So those would be on-level courses that have a weight of a 1.1. Level 2 classes would be classes that are weighted with an honors, or weighted with a 1.15. And those will be your honors courses, and as well as non-honors or AP languages other than English. Then your level 3 classes would be eligible AP classes, academic decathlon classes, and dual credit courses. Those have a 1.2 weight. To the right of the screen, you're going to see the link for the Louisville ISD page that talks about how GPA is calculated. So if you want more information as to how your student's GPA is calculated, you can follow that link. And a question that we do get from our sophomores is about class rank and when that is available. And so class rank for 10th grade students would not be made available until the third 9 weeks, once transcripts have been updated. And so just to keep that in mind. Next, I wanted to provide you all with a timeline as far as course selection. So all of our course selection is available online. All of our course selection is available online. Today, during advisory, students were given information on dual credit as well as course selection resources. On Thursday, January 19th at 12 p.m. via WebEx, we are going to have a CTE and advanced academics presentation for parents to attend virtually. This session will cover more information, go more in depth about our advanced academic options such as honors, advanced placement, and dual credit, as well as talk more about our CTE courses, which are going to be our career and technical education courses that are offered here at Hebron, and how these classes can help students prepare for goals after high school. Then on Friday, January 20th at 12 p.m. as well via WebEx, we're going to have a parent Q&A. So this will be a come and go virtual session where if you have any additional questions for the Hebron counselors, we will be available via WebEx at noon on Friday to answer any questions you have regarding course selection. Then on January 23rd during advisory, the Hebron counselors will go live to the Hebron 9 campus advisory times to help them finalize plans for course selection. And then on January 24th during advisory is when students will input course selections and alternates into Skyward during advisory. So it's very important that when students are inputting their courses, that their courses total 8 credits and they have at least 4 alternate courses. Those alternate courses are used often. If there's ever a time where a course is either full or we no longer offer that course, we can pull from the alternates. The select course, we want students to select courses they really want to take as well. And so Skyward will open on January 24th and then will close on January 27th. And then from February 6th through March 8th, the counselors will be meeting with students individually through second period classes to review course selections, make any corrections, and adjust their choices. Oops. So as far as inputting course selections in the Skyward, so once students have chosen the courses that they want to take, they need to go into Skyward and request the course that need to be inputted. So they select the course in Skyward based on the course number, which will be in the registration materials. So again, all directions for inputting courses will be distributed through advisory, and everything will be online as well. As far as the core curriculum being English, math, science, and social studies, these are the number of credits that students should take throughout total in high school. So in English, students should have 4 credits in English. So that's 1 English credit taken a year. That would be English 1, English 2, English 3. And then in advanced English, such as English 4, students should have 4 math credits total at the end of high school. 1 of those credits being Algebra 2. Students should have a total of 4 science credits. By the end of their high school, by the end of their senior year, that can include either chemistry or physics, with IPC being a science elective option. And then for social studies, students should have at least 3 credits, but we highly recommend taking both world geography and world history as 4 social studies credits are needed for a couple of endorsements, including a multidisciplinary endorsement, which is what most of our students are on. And so again, we highly, highly recommend that students take both world geography and world history. And so wanted to talk to you all about honors and AP as well as regular. So at Hebron, we are on an accelerated block, which means that our classes move at a much faster pace. Students learn a year's worth of curriculum in one semester. And so when students are thinking about taking an honors or an AP class, we really want them to understand how fast that pace will move in that class. We do our best to schedule students to have 2 core classes in the fall, 2 core classes in the spring, but it's not always a guarantee. Students at sophomores, we don't allow them to take double up on math and science courses just due to availability. And our leads in our math and science departments recommend that doubling up in those courses, wait until junior year. So we do offer VLA, which is virtual. Virtual Learning Academy is what our online courses are through. Courses can be taken inside or outside of the school day. Courses taken inside the school day are at no cost. Virtual classes taken outside of the school day do cost. They are, I believe, $175 per half credit, so a total of $350 if you're needing a full class, a full 18-week class. If a student decides to take a VLA class inside of the school day, again, it's at no charge, but those virtual classes are only offered first, third, and fourth period, and the expectations that the student has to be off campus during a virtual class. More information about virtual class offerings can be found on the VLA website, and registering for those classes is a different procedure. Again, that is found on the VLA website. And as far as the number of virtual classes a student can take, students can only take up to 3 virtual classes inside the school day during the entire year, and they can't take more than 2 in a semester. So if a student decides to take 2 virtual classes in the fall, they can only take 1 virtual class in the spring. And there is a separate card for VLA course offerings, and VLA options include, in English, math, social studies. Certain languages other than English are offered through virtual. There's art and physics, and new is IPC. So that is a new offering for virtual. So students that are identified as, an IPC is integrated physics and chemistry. Gifted and talented. So students that are identified as gifted and talented, they follow a curriculum that is the honors and AP curriculum. The number of sections that we create in our master schedule for a designated GT section is based on student course requests. Scheduling courses can be very limited if a student requests all GT. So if you have a student that is identified as GT, all honors and AP courses have both GT and non-GT students in them. So again, students can select the designated GT section, but know that scheduling designated GT sections can be limited if they request all GT sections. So next, I just wanted to show a couple of examples of a schedule. And so as you can see, this student is taking band first period, which is all year long. But then if you notice in the fall, they have 3 core classes. So they have geometry, honors second period, English 2 honors third period, and fourth period chemistry honors. Whereas in the spring, they have band first period, which is all year. They have second period world history, and then third and fourth period, they have a career center class. So as you can see, the career center class is only offered in the spring, which takes up 2 periods. So because of that, it makes the fall core heavy. Another example, we have a student that's taking world history first period in the fall. They have second period. They have choir, which is all year. And then they have interior design third, and then psychology and sociology fourth period. In the spring, they have English 2 honors first period, choir second period, which is all year, and then third period honors geometry and fourth period chemistry honors. So again, this is an example of how sometimes a semester can be core heavy because the electives that the student chose were only offered in the fall, or the 2 9-week electives, which is psychology and sociology, could only pair with each other in the fall. And so that's why we really ask that when students are, picking their classes, again, we do our best to balance the schedule to have 2 core classes in the fall, 2 in the spring, but it's not always a guarantee, depending on the courses that they select. And so if you have a student that wants to take, several honors classes, then there is the chance that they may have 3 honors classes in one semester, which can be a lot. So the English class that students take as a sophomore is English 2. This is a class that's offered as an on-level class, an honors or gifted class, gifted and talented class. English 2 is a requirement for graduation, and it is a STAR EOC tested course. So that means that students must pass English 2 as well as the EOC associated with English 2 to meet the graduation requirements in Texas. So students do have the option to take honors English 2. English 2 is not offered AP, it's honors. And so with an honors English class, there is a big focus on critical reading, grammar study, vocab, and formal writing. Students should be expected to read up to 25 pages a day independently to prepare for class discussions and written assignments. And there are several independently selected works that students are expected to read daily. As well as in honors English 2, students are expected to keep a writer's notebook, and they are expected to expected to have varieties of writing, whether that being timed or untimed. There are various writing styles in an honors English 2 class, and then students are expected to participate in discussions, and the work that they produce should reflect critical thinking, time, and effort. For math, the math that is taken in 10th grade is geometry if the student took Algebra 1 in the 9th grade. This course is taken on level or in honors. 10th grade students can take Algebra 2 if they took geometry in the 9th grade. And that class is offered as on level or honors. So again, if Algebra 1 was taken in 9th grade, then students, incoming sophomores, will take geometry. If geometry was taken freshman year, then they can take Algebra 2. So as far as honors geometry, so if students have taken Algebra 1 AB, and Algebra 1 AB is a modified class that's an all year, students are not recommended to take honors geometry because of the pace of the class. It is recommended that students in Algebra 1 made at least a B, and this is in either regular Algebra 1 or honors Algebra 1. Students are expected to do daily work in order to be successful in the class, and work includes daily homework, there's major projects, quizzes, and tests. For honors Algebra 2, the recommendation is a 90 or higher in a regular Algebra 1, or an 85 or better in an Algebra 1 honors class. Again, honors Algebra 2 is not recommended if the student had to take Algebra AB all year. There is a summer assignment assigned to or tied to Algebra 2, regardless of if the class is taken in the fall or the spring. Again, an honors Algebra 2 class goes more in depth, and the tests in honors Algebra 2 are free response, so it does not have multiple choice. In Honors Algebra 2, calculators are not commonly used, and students are going to be required to show all their work on their test. There's a review of problems that covers same concepts learned in the unit, but they are not the same questions on the exam. Same homework as regular Algebra 2, but with supplemental work that goes a lot more in depth. And then, successful students have a strong work ethic, are self-motivated, and organized. And then for 10th grade social studies, if world geography was taken in 9th grade, then students are not required to take a social studies class in 10th grade. However, colleges and some of the high school endorsements require 4 social studies credits. The 4 social studies credit can come from any combination of classes under the social studies curriculum. World history is what a lot of our rising sophomores do take their sophomore year. World history can be taken on level. We do not offer honors world history, but we offer it as an AP class. And then there's also a GT section. Additional on-level social studies credits, we have psychology, sociology, and personal financial literacy. Those are 0.5 or credits. So those are 9-week classes. So AP World History is designed to have the rigor experienced by a college freshman. It is a college level class, so students are going to participate in discussions, essay writing. There is a substantial time commitment with any AP class that students take outside of the classroom if they want to be successful. And the first 3 to 6 weeks of the class are challenging as students are learning new skills. So successful participants, not just in AP World History, but in any AP class that a student takes, students should have, great time management, be self-motivated, enjoy the challenge of taking an AP class, should have good study skills and note-taking skills should be developed, effective reading, making judgments, thinking, and knowing that taking that AP class, you're learning at an equal to or above the actual number grade earned in that class. So 10th grade science. So freshman year, students took biology. And so going into the sophomore year, students can take integrated physics and chemistry, which is IPC, or chemistry or physics can be taken during the 10th grade year as the second science credit. IPC is only an on-level course. Chemistry and physics can be taken as on-level or honors. And gifted and talented honors chemistry is also offered. But we do recommend that physics is taken junior year. And so with biology being completed freshman year, we really are looking to see if students will want to take either IPC or chemistry, and chemistry can be offered as honors or on level. So some high school endorsements do require either chemistry or physics. Students that are deciding to take honors chemistry or honors physics should have strong skills in math and science. And then if students are considering going to college and are college bound, students should consider taking both chemistry and physics. So languages other than English are students that take their foreign language in the 10th grade are probably college bound, have a strong grasp of English grammar concepts, able to retain and memorize large amounts of vocabulary, speak in time situations and formal time speeches, and have good reading and listening skills. Now, 2 credits of a foreign language of the same language are required for graduation. So, for example, that would be taking Spanish 1 and then Spanish 2. The first level of the language is offered in the fall. The second level of the language is offered in the spring. And that will give students their foreign language requirement in 1 year. So it is best to take both credits in 1 year rather than taking level 1 of a foreign language sophomore year and then taking level 2 the junior year. So we highly recommend that levels 1 and 2 of the foreign languages taken in 1 year. So Tech East and Tech West, it used to be known as Dale Jackson Career Center East. So all of our career classes are offered at those centers, Tech East and Tech West. Those classes are blocked for 2 class periods. So if a student was wanting to take a class at the Career Center, they would take it either first and second period or third and fourth period at Tech East and Tech West. There are several course offerings offered at both centers with options for certifications at the completion of some courses. And so again, we are going to be having more information about CTE offerings on January 19th. And so we definitely want our students to take advantage of the career classes that we do offer through the district. We do recommend that students, if a student is interested in taking a Career Center class, they do request it during their course selection. Requesting doesn't always guarantee that they'll get into the class because our Career Center classes are very popular classes to take. And so, but we do recommend that if a student is interested in taking a career class that is offered at the Career Center, that they do put it in their course request. In the 10th grade, all 10th grade students in the district are automatically signed up to take the PSAT. This is a test that's given in October. It's like the practice for the SAT. Depending on the score, students will be invited to take the PSAT class during their 11th grade year. And then 11th grade PSAT determines national merit status, which is very beneficial for scholarships for college. Tenth graders also have the opportunity to participate in the summer leadership program through Hugo Bryan Youth. This is something that 10th grade students can apply for every October, and the cost is covered by Hebron. More information will be provided as it gets closer to that. So SAT or ACT. So we do get some sophomores that are curious about, taking the SAT, you're taking the ACT. So the SAT and ACT tests are, either one is needed for college admissions. Community colleges do not require SAT or ACT. To register for the SAT, students would go to collegeboard.org. ACT students would go to actstudent.org. We recommend that students, whether it's the SAT or ACT, that we recommend that they take one of those tests the spring of their 11th grade year for the first time. Students have the opportunity their sophomore year to take the PSAT. And so as far as the SAT and ACT, we really recommend that they don't take it until the spring of their 11th grade year. Tests are offered on certain Saturdays during the school year. Hebron is not a testing site. Test fee waivers are available for students on free reduced lunch program. These are again available starting their junior year. And so students can request a fee waiver if they qualify, and they just come and talk to their counselor about that. And so all students will have the opportunity to update or change their course requests during individual counselor conferences. So students will meet with their designated counselor. So I'm last name C through E. So I'll be meeting with students with last name C through E during their second period classes. between February 6th through March 8th to discuss choices and make adjustments as needed. Again, as a reminder, please plan to initially request 8 courses plus 4 alternatives on January 24th. So students will need to pick courses that total 8 credits and have 4 alternatives listed. And there will be opportunities to make changes to their request as well. Okay. So schedules are set for the year. Again, students have the opportunity to make changes to their requests, but once the school year starts, so once August comes around and school's beginning, we don't make schedule changes. That's why it's very, very important that you talk to your students about the courses that they are selecting. If they are interested in taking an honors class or an AP class, making sure that they understand the expectations and the rigor that comes with taking an honors or AP class. We do make schedule changes for the following reasons. If there's an error in the schedule, that would mean like if the student is in a class that they've already taken or they don't meet the prerequisites, we can change the schedule for that. If there's a program change, such as a student is needing to be placed in soccer, we can change the schedule for that. We don't make schedule changes to be with a specific teacher. If a student is wanting out of honors or AP classes, we don't make those changes until the 9-week mark, only if there's an academic need shown. So when we talk about showing an academic need, we look to see, well, did the student attend tutorials? Was there a conference held with the teacher? And so again, if your student is thinking about taking an honors or an AP class, make sure you have the conversation about the expectations for that class. And we do not make changes for electives. At the end of this presentation, I am going to include a link to our district's course description guide. And so what that is that you can type in the name of an elective, such as, let's say your student is interested in taking money matters, but they're like, I'm not sure like what all that class entails. If you go to the course description guide online, you can type in money matters and it'll give you a description of the class. So your students will have an idea of what that class, what they will learn in that class and the expectations. So again, we don't make elective changes to schedules. And so just to wrap up, all students will enter their courses in Skyward during advisory on January 24th. Planning for scheduling will be done in advisory. So there is planning done today, and then on the 23rd and the 24th as well. Specific questions will be addressed once we can see their course requests in Skyward. Please check the website, check our counselor website. This presentation will also be recorded and that we will post on there as well. Look for any email blast that we send out. We do have a counselor Twitter page, and so we will also post updates and information on there as well. All of our student and parent info sessions will be posted on our website, so not just this one. And again, all materials for registration will be or are already posted on our website for you to print and review. So these are just some helpful links. So the first link is the link to the Hebron High School Counseling website. On there, you will find information such as the recorded sessions, info about course selection. You'll also find our contact information as well. I am a part of an amazing counseling team here at Hebron. And so if you have questions, you can send us an email. The counselors at Hebron 9 are also able to answer questions as well. And then I've also included the link to the Louisville ISD course description guide. Again, this was a great resource to have if you're curious about what a class is about, what the curriculum is. You can go to that link and type in the course name, and they'll provide you a description of the course. Okay. is 6:36, and so I see the chat is, as I've seen the other counselors have been answering questions on the chat. See, I'm going to exit out of that. Oops. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to view the chat. Let's see. I'm going to try to get caught up. So if you have, if you still have a few questions, feel free to type them into the chat. But other than that, that's the end of our presentation for our rising 10th grade students. I am so excited to welcome all of our incoming or rising 10th graders to the Hebron main campus. If you have questions, again, please feel free to reach out to your child's counselor. The counselor at Hebron and I are also able to answer any questions as well. I'm going to stay on here just for a few minutes just to monitor the chat, but other than that, you all are free to go. Thank you, everyone.